Hi folks, my name is Danny. Welcome to another video here on Danny's Corner. My name is Danny. I'm a totally blind person and I educate people on blindness related things, not only physical blindness but spiritual blindness as well. This is the second part of another video that I made called dating a blind person, something like that, but it's related to blindness and dating, that's for sure. So I want to get to the meat of the conversation here. So how would you date a blind person, or where would you go? What would you do? In the previous video, I talked about a myth out there, which was that blind people were supposed to date one another and marry their own. And I had said how that's segregation and it doesn't help anyone, because we are not moving forward, we're moving backward, and it doesn't help anyone. And we're still going to remain ignorant if we believe that blind people should date their own, or black people, or so forth and so on. We need to spread our wings, and that's not to say that people with disabilities can't marry each other or can't date or whatnot. Sure, they can. What I'm saying is that there should be more diversity, so we are able to spread the message that anything is possible, and blindness is not some disease. Blind people shouldn't be these outcasts of society. That we have the same feelings that you do, that we desire the same things that you do. And when we don't have that, we can a lot of times self-destruct by doing things that are not great, which I also discuss in a previous video. So what do we as blind people like? So let's say you're considering dating one of us. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. We like the same things that other people like. Now again, I must say that this depends, because since a lot of blind people are sheltered, and I go into that in another video, which I will link. Hopefully I don't forget. But a lot of blind people are sheltered. That means that they do not go out by themselves. They need their family to go out with them. So you rarely see a blind person walking anywhere in major cities or in rural cities. And this is why a lot of sighted people don't know about us. And this is why there's a lot of myths. And this is why a lot of movies, books, and other things have been made portraying blind people in a bad light. And so this is why we need to choose carefully whom we hang out with and the things that we say. So in this case, let's say that you were dating somebody like me. Some of the things that I like doing alone or with a person, I like going to the movies. I enjoy funny movies. I enjoy holiday movies, all sorts of things. So that's one thing that you can do. Go to a movie, and then ask the person, so, what is it like to hear the movie described? And then the other thing that you can do is watch a movie with that person. Not necessarily with your eyes closed, but you can do so if you wish. But hear the described version of the movie with that person who's blind, and then, tell that person, that wasn't completely accurate. Actually, this is what happened during this scene or that scene. So yeah, that would be a great conversation starter. Um, Other things that blind people like doing is going to the museum. Anything that piques our interest, for example, science, history, just a cultural museum. Um, I don't know, just there's a bunch of museums out there, and you never know. A blind person may be interested in the museum, or maybe not. So it all just comes to you asking, and that's it. Um, Another thing, for example, is you can see if that person might want to try skating, ice skating, or roller skating. Um, you can also take that person to eat. You can also do hiking, hike together. You can enjoy a picnic at the park. You can also do what it's called dining in the dark or eating in the dark, which is basically, and you don't have to do it at a restaurant. You can sit alone, you blindfold yourself, and you experience eating the way a blind person would. And so, see how that experience is. It can be rewarding to do it as a group too, with 6, 7, 8 people. I would say the most important thing of all is treat a blind person the way you would treat anybody else. That means that, and I'm going to close with these tips. Whenever you approach a blind person, let's say you talk to him, hey, how are you? The blind person doesn't respond to you. You move closer and you say, hey, how are you? And the person still doesn't reply to you. Consider tapping that person on his or her shoulder. In that way, you can catch that person and they will be able to talk to you. The second thing not to do is say things like, can you see me? Or just asking weird questions like, how do you go to the bathroom? Or engaging in that sort of thing. Um, it's really not a great topic to start with. And there are other inappropriate questions to ask to a blind person. Just as I imagine there are some inappropriate questions that if I were to ask any sighted woman, they would slap me. So keep in mind, always be respectful, always be mindful of the other person's disabilities. I've heard people say, hey, I forget that you have a disability sometimes because of the way that you carry yourself. This is not about forgetting that I have a disability. I have it. And the point is not for you to forget that I have a disability. It's a part of me. It's something that I'm going to have to carry with me for the rest of my life. It's a burden, sure, but it's a light burden. It's not the way that you would perceive it. But what's most important thing here is the way I perceive things. And, yeah, I would just say that treat that person the way you would like to be treated, with respect, with care, with the utmost importance, making sure that if you don't want your feelings to get hurt, don't hurt other people's feelings. And always, if you're not sure, before saying anything, say this: I would like to talk to you. And if at some point during this conversation I say something or do something that hurts your feelings in any way, shape, or form, please excuse me. This is my first time and I just want to get to know you. Feel free to correct me. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to get upset. Or maybe I will. But I will think about it later on and reflect upon this. and hopefully we can forge a good relationship with one another. And please forgive me. That is the way that you can start a conversation with a blind person and get on your way to possibly dating them. Why not? And by the way, you have an advantage too if you get to date an actual blind person. You'll be one of the first ones to say, I went on a blind date, and actually mean it. Because most people who've been on blind dates saw their significant other or the person whom they were dating. If you have enjoyed this video, please give a like, subscribe, share, comment, and make any suggestions. And also, I do want to mention something else before I leave. Again, when it comes to blind people, and I know that I'm going to get more and more people with disabilities who are eager to talk, to connect with me, and to connect with other blind people. And one of the things that they do is they're really trusting, and they ask for email and Facebook and so forth and so on. Please, I beg you, do not, under any circumstance, leave your Facebook info on the comment section or ask me for mine. I'm not saying this because I don't want other people to scam you or spam you. And we're vulnerable when it comes to this, especially as blind people. Let me speak about this in another video now that I think about this. And I will talk to you in another video. Thank you very much. Bye.